Hey guys, how's it going? It's Rob Sutton, and for the past 2 months we've cut the cord and gone with YouTube TV over our previous service, DIRECTV. Since we've gotten a real good feel of it over the past couple months, I thought I'd step in here, give you a review of the service and what we thought overall. Be sure to wait till the end of this video for a pro tip if you are looking to switch that could save you a lot of money. Let's get started. Alright guys, so let's get into why we switched to YouTube TV and what we found that was good and bad. Obviously, part of the reason we switched was cost. Now I know if you go to DirecTV's website, you'll see $69.99 for probably their most popular package, but the reality is that's only for the first 12 months. When we quit DirecTV, we were paying $170 a month in comparison to $50 a month for YouTube TV. Now it doesn't take a math genius to find out that we're saving over $1,400 a month on just TV service. When we were using DirecTV, we found that we were only using a select amount of channels. I needed my sports and local programming, my wife needed her trashy TV through Bravo, and my son needed his Cartoon Network and other various channels to watch cartoons. We could get all that with YouTube TV at a significant discount. Any money that you can save off of these subscription services that you pay for every month is money back in the house versus funneling it back out for stuff you don't use. So let's just get that obvious right out of the way. It's a huge cost savings over the course of the year, and that was the driving force for the change. The other thing is there's no contract associated with YouTube TV versus like with DirecTV. So you're not locked in for that period of time. If you feel like switching to Hulu or some other streaming service at any point in time, you just cancel and jump. It's really not that big a deal. Another really cool part about YouTube TV is you remember those days where you call DirecTV when you're having an issue and they say, oh yeah, I'll be there between 9 and 12, and they show up at 4:30 with not even the right tools to do the job. Those days are gone. You're no longer locked to your house when it comes to tech support on hardware. Because you're using something like a Roku stick or the app through your TV, there's no satellite to worry about, there's no cable boxes to install. All of that is handled through the internet. So those really frustrating days of waiting on tech service is no longer a problem. As I mentioned before, the channel selection and local programming is still there like you get with DirecTV or some other service. It used to be in the past you weren't able to get those local channels, but that has significantly changed over time. It has even gotten to where when I travel, it'll actually alert you that you've changed into another local segment, and you will get that local programming. That means I get in Atlanta area my SEC and ACC network so I can follow my college football, but it also means we get all of our local Atlanta news channels as well. One of the great things about YouTube TV as well is that you get unlimited DVR recording. Now I know some of the services are trying to do this as well, but most of your DVR recording is done locally on a hard drive in your house. Now you can get it from anywhere, and it's unlimited. So you basically get to scroll through it just like you would on YouTube with all your channels that you recorded. Now this kind of segues into another popular thing with YouTube TV that we found incredibly useful. One, you can add up to 5 accounts, and that is location independent. So you can add 5 users per account for the $50 a month fee. For our house, we added myself, my wife, and my son. So we each get to have our own personalized programming suggestions as well as our personalized DVR. As an added bonus, I can see exactly everything my son's been watching on TV by just logging into his account. Those accounts follow you, so if you needed to sign up for a grandparent or someone else, as long as they had their login and you set it up to their user account, it could be in their house and you can be in yours. It really just depends on how you want to set it up. One of the biggest benefits I've found out of YouTube TV personally, which might just be a single case scenario, but I travel a lot. So YouTube TV follows me on my phone, on my tablets, on my laptops. I'm able to access my DVR, my channels, anywhere I have an internet connection. The apps are also very easy to use, and so is the web interface. YouTube has a lot of experience dealing with web apps, obviously, because of YouTube's. So now that we've gone through some of the positives of it, let's take a look at the negatives. As with any switch, you are gonna find some things that might annoy you a little bit, so let's take a look. First, is your TV ready for YouTube TV? So most TVs are ready for YouTube TV at this point in time. I'd argue to say all of them, even your bargain basement Black Friday deals from Walmart. However, if you have some older TVs in the house, you will need to add a Roku, an Amazon Fire Stick, an Apple TV, or some other secondary device to be able to stream YouTube TV to your TV. It plugs into an HDMI port, and then you plug it into the wall, and you're set to go. Now, we got Rokus for the TVs in the house that were not ready to take YouTube TV. That was before the Amazon Fire Stick actually released their compatibility. I probably will start to switch some of those over. The Roku TV could be a little bit buggy and sometimes has an issue with buffering. So I'm hoping the Amazon sticks will be a little bit more reliable, with the added bonus of being Amazon Alexa, which you already have throughout the house. Another little kind of funny issue we ran into is that there are no channel numbers on the YouTube TV guide. Really wouldn't think that'd be that big of an issue, but we ran into two things. One, you can't just tell someone, hey, change it to channel 46. That's not happening. They've got to scroll through and look up the channel by the name. So there's no just easy switch if you just know what channel you need to switch to. Second thing we ran into is that there's no just return to your previous channel button. You have to hit down twice on the arrow and it gives you your recently viewed channels, which is actually kind of a cool feature. But if you're watching 2 sports channels at one time, there's no just single button to tap and flip back and forth between the 2 games. Another thing is setting up smart remotes is a little bit more difficult. Remotes like the Harmony are very used to saying, let's switch inputs, not switch apps. So when you set up a Harmony remote, it's a little bit more complicated because it's really designed to turn on and turn off and change settings of devices and not scroll through software. So if you're really used to using the Harmony remote, you're gonna find a little bit more complications with that. Another thing is you can only stream 3 devices at a time. Now it's just me, my son, and my wife in the house, so it's really not that big a deal. We haven't run into any issues, but if you have a larger family or you're wanting to add more people, and actually fill out that 5 profiles, you could run into an issue where you can't stream on a certain device. It'll come up with a prompt saying you need to pause one TV before you can start the other. With DIRECTV, we were able to stream 4 live broadcasts and do 8 off the DVR. Now, while it's rare, we do run into streaming issues from time to time. I have an excellent connection at the house here. We're on AT&T fiber. I get a gig download speed, so we typically don't run into streaming issues. But keep in mind, you're going to be taxing your internet connection more than you were before. So you're going to want to either upgrade your internet connection, and in addition to that, make sure your Wi-Fi network at your house is really good. I use the Amplify HD mesh router system to get that 5 gigahertz signal to all of my TVs that are on Wi-Fi. It might be something you want to look into because you're going to need the fastest download speed you can get to your TV so that your streaming is not interrupted. One of the kind of little random things we found out because of the buffering issue is that when you start a channel, it'll start to buffer and build you some time so that you don't get paused in the middle of channels. So when you first start up a program like a sports channel or TV channel, it buffers for a minute, builds you up some seconds so it's not just constantly trying to get the next second. What happens with this is you are not able to sync TVs within the house. Now this is a single use case scenario. So we had our Georgia Tech party that we throw every year, and we have multiple TVs on the house playing the same football game. They're not even close to being on the same part of the game as the other TVs. So you're not able to lock in all those TVs or pause and play to get them synced up like you were with other services. Now this is a really weird case scenario that not a lot of people use, so it might not be an issue for you, but it was an issue for us, and it has been a huge feature request out of YouTube to be able to lock those TVs together and have them streaming at the same time. So if you're a huge fan of Sunday Ticket NFL, you're out of luck. You got to stick with DIRECTV. There's a way to kind of finagle it, signing up for like one of their mobile programs or something. I haven't really looked into it, but that is one of the downsides with YouTube TV. You are not able to get some of those premium sports packages or movie packages that you would be able to with your other services. The other thing is there is 0 4K on YouTube TV. Now the DIRECTV 4K services were really limited. There was only 3 channels and it was rarely anything I really wanted to watch. But at least it was trying. With YouTube, they're not even there yet. I have to imagine it won't be that hard once there is more 4K broadcasting because YouTube is already used to streaming 4K on YouTube itself. It should just be a switch on. So what was our overall experience? I can say saving over $1,400 a year is a really good experience. But on top of that, for what we need to watch and the services we need, YouTube TV fits the bill perfectly. I don't miss anything from DIRECTV really for our size family and our service need. So really we ended up saving a lot of money to get the service we needed without the junk we didn't. I also do not miss having all that hardware in the house. We were able to ship that off and we were good to go. So if you have any questions or comments about YouTube TV, hit up the comment section. I'll be sure to respond as much as I can. Be sure to like and subscribe. And until then, on to the next one. Thanks guys. All right guys, so here's that pro tip that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. When you want to switch from a DIRECTV or other cable service provider that has you locked into a contract, they are going to charge you a fee for every month until the end of that contract. So you're left with the bill when you want to switch, which has really kept a lot of people from switching sooner. My wife has figured out if you tell them that you are moving in with your in-laws and they already have DIRECTV, they will just have you ship back all your equipment without any of the cancellation fees. That really saves a lot of money at the end and makes it so you can switch a lot sooner. So that's the pro tip to help you out a little bit. Be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you later.